Hey y'all, this your girl Sonja, and welcome back to She Say Sports. As we continue to celebrate Women's History Month, we will be talking to an amazing young woman today. Born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi, super talented, super funny, my soror and my friend, comedian Rita Brent. Hey Rita, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, born and raised, and started playing drums at a young age with my mother in church. So for most of my life, I thought that was going to be my call to fame, playing music. And
Right.
then at 26, something else hit me and was like, yeah, you should just tell jokes for a living, quit your good state job, and go be a comedian. And so that's what I did. And now I'm 33, live in New York with my partner, and all is well. I mean,
That
this
is,
is what I do for a living, and it's still surprising to me to this day.
and that's I was going to get into that. When I met you 7 years ago, I met you in the music industry. I sing, and I met you as a drummer. As a matter of fact, you played for me. One or two times?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
very professional. First I was like, I don't think she want to be here because she was so quiet, but she's totally different off the stage than she is,
hmm
on the stage. So she was just like focused on doing what she needed to do, be on time, and got her check, and went on.
Yeah.
and that's cool. But maybe a year after I met you, probably that same year you played for me, I remember you doing a amateur night. It was in Arlington, Texas, right?
hmm
I remember your post about it, and it was like she won, and I'm like, wow, I never knew she was funny, and so you just kind of answered the question I was going to ask you. Had you always had aspirations to be a comedian? But
Well,
it
yeah,
kind
I
of
did, but
you
I,
did.
I didn't
Okay.
know it was possible. Like all throughout
Oh,
school, and now my classmates remind me, I was always fishing for a laugh, like literally in a conversation, in the classroom, in the locker room. I'm always trying to figure out what can I say that's funny to make people laugh. And I just thought it was like some class clown stuff. And then when I
hmm
got older, I saw that people were doing this professionally, but not necessarily in Mississippi. And one year, 2013, there was a comedy show happening called Power of the Mic at this place called Sweet 106 in Jackson, and there were some guys up doing comedy. And I saw them, and I started getting chills and butterflies, and I was like, man, I think
um,
this is what I want to do. So I tried it in 2013, and I haven't stopped since. So I didn't always know it was a thing. If you grew up somewhere like L.A. or New York, you see comedians making a living doing comedy all the time. But in
right.
Mississippi, it was more about music. So when I actually saw it and I realized it was something I could do, I just jumped at the opportunity.
That's amazing. And since then, you quit your day job as a DJ at NPR. You have been traveling around the country honing your craft. You became the Petty Pet Honda spokesperson. You've done guest spots on Ricky Smiley, and you've also toured with Ricky Smiley. And you had
hmm
a comedy special with Hart Productions, Kevin Hart Production Company. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did this thing called Heart of the City. I think it's still in production where he goes around the country basically promoting younger comics who've not had a TV appearance yet. So he came to Mississippi, he picked 4 comedians, and that was my first TV credit thanks to Kevin Hart. And so that particular experience really did shift my career because once you get a credit, then you can charge a little more. People look at
Right.
you as being more legitimate. So I am indebted to Kevin Hart for that opportunity.
And okay, so tell me this, Rita. Now, again, like you said, you grew up playing music, and at that time when I met you, I did not know you can sing, and I'll get to that later. But when you saw your special on TV, where not only it was just Mississippi homegrown people watching, but across the world, how did that make you feel?
It was surreal, you know, because you think that Kevin Hart maybe doesn't even know much about Mississippi, and then he comes and he's pleasant and he says, I'm gonna give y'all some TV time, and you're thinking like, okay, something gonna happen, it's not gonna air, we weren't funny enough, maybe it's not gonna make it to TV, and I
Right.
just had a big gigantic free watch party, to just celebrate the accomplishment. And it was about we all got about like 5 to 9 minutes of airtime of TV time, And, I mean, it was just beautiful to see. And, you know, sometimes as an artist, you don't always revel in your accomplishments. You know, you just like, okay, that happened, but what's next? But no, I really did take the time to just be appreciative and grateful for this opportunity. And everybody in Mississippi was so supportive of all the comedians who were on Comedy Central. It was a really big deal for the state as well. It was,
Right.
because we're not always looked at as a comedy place. But you got 4 comedians who were on for Mississippi on Comedy Central, which is a major comedy
That's big.
network, and so that was a big deal.
Right. And like you said, they don't look at us as a comedy state, but they do make fun of us. So
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
do that a lot.
Yeah.
Back to Ricky. Now, how did you meet Ricky? You kind of see him as a mentor for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I met Ricky in 2016. There's this place in Alabama called the Stardome Comedy Club, and they were having this open mic competition. And my manager at the time, Miranda, was urging me to do the competition. I didn't want to do it because I was scared. And she was like, you need to do it, you need to do it. So I did the competition. I ended up winning. And the owner and his wife saw me and said, hey, we want to introduce you to Ricky Smiley, because Ricky got his start at the Stardome in Alabama. And that was in 2016. I met Ricky, and he was so excited that I was a soror. And, you know, he has a lot of bros that he loves here in Mississippi. So he instantly just took me under his wing in 2016 and was like, I want you to be on tour with me. And I've been touring occasionally with him since 2016. But he's been so accessible and kind and such a great guide to me for these past 4 years. You know, I can text him, I can call him. He's always giving me pep talks and advice on the game and the business. And so that has just been a huge blessing to have him in my corner. You know, he shares my stuff on Facebook, and I've had so many videos go viral, millions of views, just because Ricky had something to do with it. So that is a relationship that I am extremely thankful for.
And I've seen posts that he's posted regarding you, and when I say you can tell it's genuine, Ricky, he's a very genuine person to me. I've never met him before. However, you know, I've been a fan of his and listening to his radio show daily. So I've heard him talk about you, and it's real. It's not just, you know, because he doesn't have to. So I'm so glad that you have him in your corner, and he's like, you know, giving you advice and helping you become a better comedian, you know, because I'm telling you, it's just amazing how 7 years ago this started. And look at you. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes.
Now, so I mentioned earlier you could sing. Now, y'all, I had, like I said, she's so quiet off stage, so you would know it's just, you know, she just be in her own world, and the girl can sing. And I love how you incorporate. You're welcome. I love how you incorporate. Had I known you could sing, you would have been singing on my show instead of playing.
You had to pay me an extra $8, but I would have done it.
I got you. I would have had you. So, I like how you incorporate the songs into your comedy show as well. How did you come up with that idea? Because it's really a great idea.
Yeah, so my mother is the real singer, and anything dealing with my music, she had a hand in it, you know.
Okay.
So I started playing drums at 8. She's a piano player and a singer, a very good singer, and she put me on the drums at 8 years old. And I guess she just knew that I had it in me because she had it in her. And so she's the one who got me to singing, and I started playing the drums and singing at a young age. Like, we used to do talent shows together. She would be playing piano for me, and I figured out early on that I could sing and play at the same time. But when I became a comedian, I thought, well, you know, some of these issues are really heavy, you know, dealing with politics, and some people feel the way about Trump. I said, man, what if I just made some satirical songs and just kind of lighten the mood and also give myself an opportunity to show that I'm more than a comedian? And so I think the first thing I did was Trump is in love with Putin. And I was in my bedroom singing, and one of my homies said he came up with this blues beat for me. And I was like, well, we in Mississippi, so I want to sing the blues because sometimes Trump give me the blues. And, man, that video has like 4 million views, and everybody's like, yo, you can sing once you come to my blues show and all of that. So it's like,
wow.
It confused people because they're like, wait, are you serious? Are you joking? And I'm like, I'm both. I'm serious and I'm joking. Yeah. That has been a great avenue for me to incorporate the music as well, because it's easier for people to digest sometimes and stand up. You know, if you put a nice beat to it, and people they just receive it better sometimes.
Right, and then you get a concert, and a comedian show, so it
That's
kind of
right.
it works out perfectly. Now, last year, you had a song that went viral, probably the end of last October, November, called "Rock Me Like a Pothole." Let me say something. So first of all, I'm gonna let Rita give her tell us how that song came about. But when I heard it, and Rita, I'm not a blues person. I don't like blues. I'm gospel, jazz, R&B, and so. But when I heard it, I was like, "Oh my, this girl is a freaking genius," and I was mad because I wanted to sing background on it. I'm like,
yeah.
No, your singers were amazing, but I'm like, dang, I would have loved. That was so freaking cool. So explain to the listeners who are not from Jackson, Mississippi, about this song. How did you come about with "Rock Me Like a Pothole"?
Okay, well, first of all, it wasn't no singers. I was singing my own background, just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, because I ain't got no
I
money like
love
that to
it.
be paying other people. So I'm like, well, I'm going to sing soprano, alto, and tenor.
Right, they was just your YouTube, they was just your video singers. Okay.
Yeah, they was just dancing, but I was the one singing all them parts.
I love it.
So, Jackson, Mississippi has a reputation for having a lot of potholes, which is interesting to me because I've traveled all over the world.
They're everywhere.
And I went to Africa last year, and they had mad potholes. So I'm like, how is it that Jackson gets singled out for potholes, and they have them all over the world? But I was riding one day. It was just very simple how I came up with it. I was riding one day, and I hit a pothole, and it rocked me. So it rocked me to the left and right. And I was like, man, I just got rocked by a pothole. And so I hit up my guy, Sid, again, Cedric Smith, who was a very talented producer and piano player. I said, hey, man, you send me a Southern Soul song? Because I'm always trying to stay true to the genres here in Mississippi. I said, can you send me a Southern Soul song track? And I want to write this song to it. And so he did, and I pulled over in the Target parking lot, and I just came up, can you rock me like a pothole? I was like, man, this going to be lit. And at first I was just joking. And as we got into the studio, I was like, man, this slick jamming. I said, so I'm going to do a video to it. So we went on a popular street, Mill Street, that has a lot of potholes. And I got my lady was a back dancer. My best friend, one of my best friends, was a background dancer. It was hot out there, and we shot it in 2 scenes. So we did like Mill Street, where there was some big, gigantic potholes. It looked like craters. It was perfect. And then we shot the second scene at Johnny T's, so it was like a juke joint. And I just got a bunch of people from church to come be in the crowd. So I didn't expect it to blow up like that, but it did.
So let me tell you how this song blew up. I was in the car one night. I don't know where I was coming from, but I'm listening to satellite radio in my vehicle, and the DJ, I forgot what channel it was, she starts talking about Rita's song. And she was like, talking about it and how it was viral and how, some city, I think it was in North Carolina, a lady responded and was like, I can relate to it. And I just started screaming. And thankfully, my vehicle lets me replay music, the songs in the car. So I replayed it so I can record it because I just could not. I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening. This song has gotten so big. And tell the people how they can download the song. You have to hear this song.
Yeah, it's available on all of the music platforms, so you can get it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal. It's on all of those. You can download it. It's on YouTube as well if you want to see the video, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually put it on my YouTube page so the listeners can see it because this is hilarious, y'all. And it's like you say, it's slick hot. I mean, it's a nice song.
The young folk call it a bop. On Twitter, they was like, "This is a bop." It hit a million views on Twitter, so that was exciting.
That is crazy. So 2019 was an amazing year for you, Rita, and you ended up telling your fans that you were moving to the Big Apple. How did that decision come about?
Well, I had gone to New York a few times to perform, and I performed at the Apollo Comedy Club there. And there's a guy named Bob Sumner. If you're a comedian or a fan of comedy, you know who he is. He's one of the co-creators of Def Jam Comedy on HBO. And Bob had seen me several times, and so he just suggested my name to this agency, the talent agency in New York. And they saw my stuff, and they said, we want to sign you. So that is what prompted the move to New York. I signed with the talent agency in August, and then I moved to New York in November, right after I had a big farewell show in Mississippi in September. So it had been in the works for a couple months, but I wanted to have that farewell show to raise some money, you know, because New York is very expensive. So it was like a fundraiser / farewell show, because every year I do like a big special in Jackson. And so this was the big one before I moved to New York, and I've been there since November 1st of 2019.
Right. And speaking of that, that was truly probably the biggest show of your life. You sold out 2 shows at the historical Alamo Theater in the Farish Street District in Jackson, Mississippi. And so I was planning on going out of town that weekend, and I ended up seeing Rita at another event. And so I'm sure she just, you know, like, wasn't begging for me to be at her show, but she was like, so are you coming? Because I was congratulating her. And at that moment, I said, you know what? This is history. So I canceled my plans to be out of town. And when I went to go buy my ticket, the first show was sold out. And it was only one show. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to miss it. And then like a day or two later, she added another show. And so I made it to the 9 o'clock. And when I got there, the line, people were everywhere, and it was crazy. And I'm like, this is real. I mean, I'm so excited for you. It's amazing to me that when you finally, you know, my pastor always says, if God gives you the vision, he'll give you the provision. And you kept walking. You kept walking in faith. And even moving to New York was a total faith move because,
absolutely,
like you said, Jackson is home. It's safe. You're going to always have your fans here, but to be on a huger scale and to really make some moves, you did that. And I'm proud of you, and I had to be there, so I'm so thankful that I was there.
Thank you. Thank you for canceling your plans. I didn't know that, so I appreciate that.
I did. And so how did it feel for your hometown to show you so much love and support that night? How did that feel?
Oh, man, I was humbled. I just couldn't believe it that I sold out the first show and then to sell out the second one. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, also thank you to Patty Peck, because a lot of people have been seeing me on TV. That's how they knew who I was.
Right.
You know, selling Hondas. But it was just a testament to a couple things, like you said, walking by faith, but also just being kind to people. Yeah. And you know, when I'm out in the streets and people recognize me, I take pictures, I shake hands. Well, I ain't shaking no hands now because of coronavirus. But you know, it pays off when you are dedicated to the place where you live and you speak life into a place and you're positive.
Right.
You know, I always try to be positive about my city and the people in it. And so to have that love and respect in return was just extremely humbling. And, yeah, it definitely was a classic moment for me and a moment that I'll never forget. And I'm just glad I was able to do it at the Alamo Theater, where in its heyday it was just such a wonderful haven for Black artists and entertainers to perform, to bring the glory back to that area. It just meant a lot to me to be able to use my platform to do that.
That's awesome. So how has it been living in the Big Apple, and what are some of the things you miss about home?
Man, it's been expensive. Everything expensive. like I just don't understand how they charge so much for this stuff. But no, it's a very adventurous place. I mean, like, there's always something to do. When they say it's the city that never sleeps state, that is a serious title. You know, like, right. You can see 5 o'clock traffic at midnight. You know, like, it's always traffic. It's always something to do. But comedy-wise, it's been amazing. Like, I've been performing every night. If I wanted to, I could perform every night. And you really, really get to hone your craft there, which is what I want, which is what I needed. Because Mississippi, you know, we just got the Chuckles Comedy Club, but before that, opportunities to perform on a regular basis could be kind of scarce. Absolutely. So in New York, that's all people are doing every day, all day, is performing in basements and attics and clubs. Like, you name it, it's 1,000 comedians there. So you really get to sharpen I really get to sharpen my tools comedically, and I feel like I'm becoming a better comedian by being there.
Right.
But I miss the weather primarily. That's what I miss
Yeah.
because it's been cold there. But I've heard it's been a mild winter, so I'm glad it's not as cold as it has been in the past. But I really do miss the weather of Mississippi. I miss my family a lot, and I miss crawfish. Like, I can't find no good crawfish in New York. You know, I've been eating a lot of Ethiopian food, which is
Yeah.
cool. But summertime, I want some crawfish. So hopefully
Right.
I find some soon.
Well, I guess you'll have to just come home and get you some and probably get it shipped to you. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
get
we'll do
yeah,
something.
I don't eat crawfish.
You slipping. You slipping. You ain't tripping.
That's the bug of the sea. Gross. I can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care. I just pray it away, whatever
Okay.
the boo-boo and whatever on it, I pray it away and slap your mom on it and I eat it.
Right. Right. So with the coronavirus, or as we call it, the Rona, since it's been running rapid in the around the country, around the world actually, how has it been navigated in a city with such a huge population with multiple cases of this virus?
Yeah, I don't know because I came home. So, like, when we left New York, it was like
so you're
5.
here.
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi. When we left New York, it was like 5 cases. And I had a gig. I had a Q Delta gig that Friday, the 13th in Hattiesburg. And because all my other stuff was getting canceled, like I had a gig with Cedric Entertainer in Connecticut that got canceled, stuff was getting canceled. But the Q Delta gig is still on. And then my lady said she was scared. She said she didn't want to stay in New York, and she wanted to come home to Mississippi. So we've been in Mississippi since March 13th, and the cases have, like, quadrupled. Like, it's like 2,000-3,000 cases now. But I've been checking with my friends and family in New York, and they say they're fine. They're stocked up. But the governor and the mayor are kind of tightening up on making sure people are not getting out and exposing themselves because we're trying to flatten the curve. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what it looks like. I'm in Mississippi.
I don't know what they're doing. So,
yeah.
Okay, y'all. So whenever something is going on in the world, I mean, something huge, as y'all president says, something huge or bigly, Rita always kind of makes, she does these prayers. So she did a coronavirus prayer. I can't do it, but can you start it off how you always started off with whatever it is, and then you add Jesus?
Yeah, so I've been praying to dear Heavenly Father and Lysol Jesus. That's who we're praying to right now. But the people have been going in on me because I had a bottle of Lysol in the video, but it was actually Dollar General Lysol. So
wow.
You need to start over. This prayer ain't working. Yeah. The coronavirus prayer is good. It's at 1 million views right now, so it's helping people laugh through this troubling time.
Well, I'm definitely going to put that on my page as well, on my sports page, because when I say it's hilarious, and you'll see, I'm sure the YouTube would just take you back and let you see her other ones, and then at the end she'll be like, amen, amen, and do her shrug like, I mean, I don't know which one. But
yeah, because I think black people say amen. And I don't know who said amen, but it ain't us. So I just like whichever one. Amen, amen, whatever you feel like.
I mean, both of them mean so be it. So let's, I mean, you know.
That's right.
Right. So well, you mentioned that you have canceled some shows due to this pandemic. Will you be able to, like, get the shows back later on, or they're postponed indefinitely, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's the plan. So, you know, I operate like via deposits. So I've already got deposits for some of these gigs, thankfully.
I got you.
And so they've hit me up and saying, hey, we're going to have to postpone this until a later date. And so I still honor the agreement that I've made with all these people.
Absolutely.
So it's been like 5 or 6 gigs, but whenever they want to reschedule, I'll be ready. But some people have just canceled to, like, next year. Like, I was looking forward to this Women in Comedy Festival I got accepted to in Boston, and they are postponing theirs till 2021.
Wow.
So as it stands right now, all my gigs through May have been canceled. And so I'm just going to try to do some more creative things, like my special Sip on This Tea is out for people who want to download it. They can listen to it on, like, Amazon, once again, Tidal, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. But if you want to watch it, you can watch it on Vimeo. You can rent it or buy it So you can watch my new special. That's one way I can people can support
Right.
with these gigs being canceled. And I'm working on a new song.
Oh, yeah.
It's much different from the pothole song. I originally was gonna write like a coronavirus song, but a lot of people are dying and things are getting really sensitive
Yeah.
around that subject. So since I've done the prayer, I'm just gonna kind of go in a different direction since I know people are at home. It's a twerk love song. So my lady loves to twerk, so she's gonna be twerking in the video. Like whenever I say something about her twerking, people get like excited, like they want to see it. And I was like, well, all right, I'll let y'all see it then. So it's a twerk love song. I'm rapping and I'm singing, and it's really funny, but it's slick jamming once again, like the pothole song. So I'll be releasing that in a couple of weeks. Now, the church folk ain't going to like it, but the millennials and the TikTok crew, they going to like it.
Them church people ain't going to like it. I'm a church people, but I support you.
Thank you.
I mean, if I feel like you're getting out of hand, I'm be like, I'm not going to say nothing, but I still love you.
Yeah. But see, I've grown, though. That's the thing. Like, people don't want me to grow up. They think because I'm little, like, I can't talk about adult things. Like, no, I'm grown. I was married to a man, so I was doing some adult things. Like, this can't be taboo forever,
Right.
So, yeah, but the song is funny. It'll be something you'll be able to dance to and laugh at. So I'm gonna drop it in a couple weeks.
Cool. I will be ready for it. Now, before I let you go, this is She Say Sports is a sports show, so we have to talk a little sports. I know you are an avid sports fan, but I never knew, like, who are some of your favorite players or your teams?
Well, I'm a huge NBA fan.
Me too.
I don't care too much about football, especially since the Kaepernick stuff. I just ain't been paying attention. I know the Brady Bunch man going to Tampa. That's all I know. But so basketball-wise, on the East, I've been a huge fan of the Celtics for a long time. Like back when Pierce and Garnett were playing. Maybe not Larry Bird. I don't know if I was born then, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, I love the Celtics. So I don't even know if they're gonna get to finish the season, but I had selected the Celtics to come out of the East for the NBA this year because I feel like the Bucks are good, but they have a tendency to kind of flop in the playoffs. So if they came out of the East, they would surprise me. The Celtics are much more gritty. And the Sixers, they just need a little more help. I don't know. It seems like they don't have the chemistry they need or the emotion they need to beat somebody like the Celtics or the Bucks. Now, out of the West, I've never been a Lakers fan, Sonja. I mean, I liked Kobe Bryant, of course, because he's the closest thing to Jordan, in my opinion. So I was a fan of Kobe Bryant's, but never, ever liked the Lakers. Still ain't going for the Lakers. I guess I'm going to have to root for the Clippers coming out the West this year because the Warriors are all crippled and everything. But I am a huge Warriors fan. Love the Warriors, but as far as the teams that have a chance this year, shooting for the Clippers to beat the Lakers in 7. But I don't know if they're going to even finish the season. So that's scary.
Well, I noticed you didn't even look. You're gonna laugh when I say this. I noticed you didn't even mention my Bulls, but it's okay. I mean,
the Bulls. The Bulls.
You know what? That's right. The Bulls.
When the last time they won anything? They should have got rid of Derrick Rose because vintage Derrick Rose is back. You know what I'm saying? They should have kept Derrick Rose.
Because even though he's not with the Bulls anymore, I always wanted him to do well. And so I'm rooting for him to do well. But, yeah, we suck. I know it. All of my teams suck. We actually, I know you don't really watch football, but we picked up Nick Foles yesterday. Well, one of them days as our QB. It's like, I don't know, the front office for both teams, it's like they want to fail. I don't get it. But
yes, that's what my homie Jonas Adams, DJ Jonassi, he talks about the front office has kind of been sabotaging, and he thinks the Bulls need better leadership in the front office. So
I mean, not only the Bulls but the Bears, they had an opportunity to get Mahomes and B.J. Watson as quarterbacks, and they did not. And then
they missed out on Mahomes. Tragic.
Yeah. I don't want to say what I want to say, but.
Say it.
Just leave it at that. No, I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's just like they the wrong color. I don't know what it is. That's just my feeling. However, yeah, it's been rough, but like with the NBA, how do you feel? Like, I think Adam Silver, that was a major leadership move that he did, postponing the league, because I think the spread of the virus would have been more detrimental to the NBA because they still would have been playing. Of course, I believe the majority of the fans would have still been coming to the game. Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about what Adam Silver did?
Oh, I think it was excellent forethought and just a smart decision because they play within very close proximity of each other, and it could have got really bad really quick. And, I was reading that some people are upset because the NBA players are rich and privileged, and they're getting tested, and, it's people out here who are sick and not being able to get tested. I mean, that ain't really the NBA fault, if you ask me.
That's not, no.
It's up to the U.S. government to make sure people in the United States have access to testing. They got the money, so why wouldn't they take care of their own organization? But some of the players have pledged to pay the salaries of people who are not working, and I think that's a nice gesture as well. But I'm just kind of concerned about Rudy Gobert and how he's going to be perceived after all of this because he kind of started it being careless. And I know he's since apologized, but it made me cringe to see how reckless he was being and not taking it seriously. And now he has it, Donovan Mitchell has it, Kevin Durant has it, more Nets players have it. So it's just a sad thing, but I feel like as players, their immune system should be pretty tough. They're tough players. So hopefully all of them will heal really fast. But sometimes it takes people like that to get it for everybody else to realize they're not invincible. Idris Elba, Tom Hanks. So I think it was they're kind of like sacrificial lambs in a sense. It's like, hey, these big, strong Space Jam players getting it. Y'all need to take it seriously too.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll just flatten the curve nationally as they are all trying to work towards so we can get some sports back up and going. Because I can't deal with no sports rough for the rest of the year.
It's been rough, but tragic. I will say this. I've enjoyed the documentaries. I really enjoyed the classic basketball games they've been showing. And matter of fact, you say you're a Celtics fan, and I don't think you definitely were not born in '86. Were you? How old are you?
I was born in '87.
Okay, 1 year late. So it was the Celtics against the Hawks, one of the best games ever. And I mean, I hated the Celtics organization, of course, because I'm a Wolves fan. But when I say some of the best ball ever, and then check that out. They showed it actually Sunday. I watched it at Johnny T's. And also I've enjoyed the basketball players, old, former, and still in the league, doing panels. And they did one with Barkley and Chris Webber and some more guys last week. And they were talking about teams that did not get a ring, but, they were still like some of the best teams. Well, of course, back then, I think it was like 90 to 2000. I forgot the range they went. But Michael Jordan, he messed that up for a lot of people. Patrick Ewing had a ring. Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. The list goes on. He jacked up a lot of people's lives. Sean Payton. So, but it was.
And I know that haunts them, because anytime somebody arguing with Barkley, like Draymond Green is going back and forth with Charles Barkley right now, they're like they're gonna fight at some point. Right. Draymond told him, "Don't make me take your job." I'm like, I don't want to hear now one of y'all talk, to be honest. But they bring that up in arguments. That Charles don't have a ring, and it's kind of like, ain't nothing he can say, but it doesn't diminish what he did as a player, because Charles was a beast.
Yeah, because he was one of the best players in the league, and he definitely is one of the best in the top 50. So, absolutely. And he would run circles around Draymond. I mean, I think
yes, Lord.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, but dude, don't get it twisted. I mean, please, don't get it twisted.
Respect your elders.
Respect your elders.
Respect your elders, man. Because if it weren't for Steph Curry, you wouldn't have no championships either.
Thanks, bam. Okay, let's be real. So, I mean, exactly. So, girl, thank you so much for speaking with me today. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media and give your booking info as well.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Rita Brent Comedy. That's RitaBrent Comedy. I post a lot. Some of my stuff is different on Facebook than it is on Instagram, so you can follow all those platforms. And my booking information is ritabrentcomedy@gmail.com. And once again, if you want to watch or listen to my new special, if you want to watch it, you just go to Vimeo, and the link is all over my pages. It's in my link on Instagram. You can rent or buy my new special, Sip on This Tea. If you want to listen to my music or my special, you can go to Amazon, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes. It's available on all those platforms. So check your girl out, laugh, rock to my music. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you can follow me, She Say Sports on Facebook, She Say Sports 23 on Instagram. And, well, I guess that's the end of our show today. Until next time, this is Sonja with She Say Sports, and I'll see you on the radio.